Hi all. Today we take a look at two commonly used decorators in Angular, the viewChild and viewChildren. ViewChild is a property decorator which can be used to query certain elements from the view DOM of a component. So what constitutes a view DOM? View DOM consists of all the elements in the view of a component other than the elements which are created using content projection using the ng content. So today I have created an Angular application, and inside this Angular 12 application I have created an Angular component and an HTML. So inside the HTML I have a div to which a directive is attached called the appchild, and there is a component called appchild with an input name, and I also included a template. So first let's try to query this appchild component from our app component. So let's go into our app component and let's add a viewchild decorator. So inside the viewchild we can pass a selector, which is usually the element which we need to query from the component. So here I am passing the child component, and then we need to set the access modifier and provide a name. So I am giving it as child component itself, and it's of the type child component. So now it's showing an error like the child component is not initialized. So I am providing a non-null assertion operator so that it will ignore the initialization error. So the viewchild queries only a single valid result. Like suppose there are multiple child components in our HTML or the view DOM, even though there are multiple instances, it will return the first instance of the child component or the matching query. So in case we want to get all the results, we will be using the view children instead of the view child. So related to the view child, there are two lifecycle hooks. One is the after view init and the after view checked. So after view init means like the chain detection has completed and the view is ready, and this is the first place where we will be able to access our view child. So here let's put a console statement and try to print our child component. And the after view checked is like it will be called whenever the view gets updated. So now let's go to our application, and here we can see that the child component instance is available. Next, let us try to query the app child directive. So the syntax is very much similar. So here I am repeating this, and I am trying to query the child directive, and I will rename the variable and also the type. So now again let's console this in our after view init. So the application refreshed, and here you can see that we are able to access the child directive instance. So now let's try and query this template within our app component. So here again we can use the view child, and instead of the directive we can pass the template ref. So here I can rename the variable and giving it as child template, and here I need to provide a type, so I am giving it as any as of now, and I will try to console the template. So now actually we can see that the template reference is available here. So now I have a service called child service. So actually I have not provided any scope here, and this child service I am actually using it within the child component. So what I have done is inside the child component I am registering the child service in the providers. So after registering, I am using the child service inside the child component. So in case the a service is registered within the component providers, then we will be able to query it. But in case the child service was like provided in root or something, so in case I had given like this, I will not be able to query the service. So now let's try our service. Like we will have a view child, and I will try to query the child service, and I will name the variable as child service and type also. So here I will console the service. So now let's see our application. So here now you can see that the child service we will be able to query it. But as I told earlier, suppose I gave it here provided in root, and I removed the service from the providers array of the child. So here I have removed it. Now if I try to query it, you can see that I am unable to query the service. Similarly, we will be able to query any tokens which we have registered within the provider of a child component. So here I have registered a child token and I am using the value text. So this is registered in the providers array of the child component. Now let's try to query it from the main component. So here you can use the token instead of the service. So I am passing child token. I am assigning the variable also here, and I am providing the type as any. Now let's console our token. So here you can see that the value text is getting displayed. Now let's go ahead and try out the most commonly used mode of querying the view child, that is using template variables. So here I have added a template reference variable. So this can be added to any element. So first let us try adding it to a component, and now let's query it from our app component. So here you can provide the element name. So this is the variable which we used in the HTML. So using the same thing, I can query it. Now let's give a name here, childware, and since I am provided the element in a component, so I can use the component instance here. So actually this is what I will be receiving when I try to console it. So let's display it here. So here you can see that actually we are getting the child component instance itself. So now let's again add the same thing to any other element. So example here I am adding this to the directive. So what happens here is that when we try to query this, we will be getting an element reference. So here you can see that now I am actually receiving the element reference to our div, which will be holding our directive. So this is the most commonly available result. Like whenever we add a template reference variable to any HTML element, usually we will get the element reference. Now let's try adding the element reference variable to the ng template. So now what will happen is, like when I try to query, I will be actually getting the template reference. So previously I had given template ref any. So same thing. Oops, here what happened is like I forgot to remove the element reference from the directive. So since we provided the same name multiple times, it returned only the first one. So now I have removed it, and now we will be able to get the template reference. Now let's try out some other parameters which are available in the view child. So there is an options object which we can pass into the view child. So the first property is the static. So by default, the static property will be having the value false. So previously I told that the first place which like where we can use the view child is in the ng after view unit. So suppose I try to console it inside the ng on init, you will see that it will be returning an undefined. So here you can see inside on init, it is providing the value undefined. So, but in certain cases like the template reference and all, so here you might actually need the reference prior to the chain detection itself. So, like once the view is ready, like it might be too late to add a template reference in our view. So in this case, what we can do is we can actually turn the static as true. So now what happens is we will be actually able to get the reference of the view child within our own init itself. So another option that is available is the read. So here you can actually provide the type. So here when I try to query, actually I am getting the component instance. So in case I need the element ref, here I can provide the option. So now here you can see that actually I am getting the reference to the element rather than the component instance itself. So similarly, I can also provide the view container ref. So here again, I will be getting access to the view container reference. Now let's see how we can keep track of a view child which changes dynamically. So here in this case, I have added a template reference variable elem here, and here actually there is an ng if. So based on this variable use inline, it will either display this if block, or in case this changes, it will be displaying the template reference. So now how can I track this view child changing? So now here I am querying this using the element, and here I have given the template reference. So actually this can change, the result can change based on the value of this use inline variable. So initially it is false. So in case it is false, it will be showing the template reference. So now it's correct. But in case I modified it dynamically, so here I am adding a set timeout, and after 3 seconds I am actually changing the value to true. So now what happens is actually the template reference may not be available. So now here when the initial query happened, actually it is a template reference variable. Now how can I dynamically log it? So actually there is an option to use a setter or getter. So here I am removing the original thing, and I am adding a setter, and for the setter of the child variable, actually here I can perform any action, like whenever the view changes I can do some action here. So here currently I am logging a console that the view child changed. So now if I refresh the application, so initially it is the else block, now it is changed to the if block. Now here you can see that the console which I added earlier, the view child change, it is available here. Also I will check what is the value of the element. So I will add a console once more. and now the value will be, it will be an element ref. So here you can see that now it is an element ref. Now let's take a look at the decorator view children. So till now we have been dealing with a single instance of a query. So now I have added an ng for loop. Inside that I am repeating the app child component multiple times. So here I have provided a names array which will contain 3 elements. So ideally 3 component instances will be generated. Now let's see how we can query that. So here let's add a view children. So the syntax is similar, and inside that I am passing a child component, and again I will give a access modifier and give a name child components, and the result will be actually a query list of child components. So this is the syntax for giving a view children. Now let's see how we can access the value. So I am commenting out all this, and now we can add the child components, and inside that we can use a map. So here I am logging the value of our components. So this is the way you can access the value within a query list. So here you can see that there are 3 components, and these are the 3 instances, the component 1 and 2. So when we use map, we will be able to loop through the query list. In case we directly try to access the query list, it will show something like this. So I am trying to display the child component directly. So this will be the result. We will have a query list, and inside that we have a private variable called results. So we will not be able to properly access it unless we make use of the map. There can be scenarios in which you might need to perform an action whenever the result of a view children query changes. So now let's see how we can tackle that. So there is a property called changes to which we can subscribe in the query list. So this is similar to the setter for view child. So inside this we will be able to get the new value, and here again you can map it and see the value. So here I am consoling it. Again I am providing the type. So since currently there is no change, it will not be displaying anything. Now here actually I am pushing a new value to the names array. Child component 2. So after 3 seconds I am adding a new instance. So here you can see that a new instance got added here, and our query child, like the query list, whatever we subscribe, it also got executed. Let's take a look at what are the options which are available within view children. So here you can see that the static option is not available. Instead of that, we have something called emit distinct changes only. So by default, this is true in Angular 12 onwards. So actually, they will be deprecating this. So the significance of this flag is like it will emit the changes. Like when we subscribe to the query list, it will be triggered only when the results actually changed. So previously, when you provide it as false, actually it used to execute multiple times. So as of Angular 12, it will get deprecated. And other option is the read option, which we visited earlier. Here again, the options will be similar. You can provide the element ref or the view container ref as an option. Hope you were able to get a clear picture about the view child and view children decorators. See you soon. Thank you.